Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here now, Scala with POPXP with teen sensation Billy Tucci. Looking fly, man.
Looking fly. I am the ersatz Graham Nolan right now. Got my Hawaiian shirt on. Got my Sinatra hat.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at
that, Mr.
Look at that, Mr. Hat.
You can call me Mr. Hat.
Yeah, where's your cigar, man?
I can get my cigar right now.
You gotta get the cigar. Come on.
I don't know if Graham's gonna smoke. Maybe I'll smoke my cigar.
I gotta get my Hawaiian shirts. This is, let's see, was this the 4th or 5th time we've had Graham on, and I've failed every time.
Every time
without and you know, I had the perfect shirt, you know, and I didn't keep it. I didn't keep it.
Bane would be very disappointed in you.
I know.
Very disappointed in you, Nile.
Very disappointed, Mr. Tucci.
Oh.
Anyways, my friend, so how you doing today?
I'm doing all right, I guess. I'm working away, man. Working away. Doing all right. Pretty good. You know, so that's it. Just working away, getting this book finished. Very, very busy weekend with my boys. I had Rock and Damo come up, the Falcone.
Nice. The Falcones.
Yep. And we were fulfilling all the stretch goals. All the prints are in. Thank you. There's Black Hat Guy saying I look like Graham's twin. That is my goal.
There you go.
Like Graham Nolan. So now we work.
I think you got to hit the gym. I think you got to hit the gym there, Billy.
You got to hit the gym. My son Matthew's like, Dad, you lost a lot of muscle mass. What's up with that?
Damn. Your son's mean.
He's mean. So no, but we did a lot of work. Really, really busy. Super busy weekend, but incredibly fulfilling. And they're coming back in a few weeks. The next set of books we do is the our rough cut edition, which goes to the printer the end of next week, and then the week after that, I think it's the week after that. Or the week after that goes the pure line edition, and then the week after that goes to press is the regular comic.
Nice, awesome, dude.
Frank Amazing has a
Frank Amazing.
Can Frank Amazing come over and sit with you wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
That's incredible. You know what?
Mandy Summers.
Mandy Summers is here?
Mandy Summers is here.
Holy smokes, it's Mandy Summers, guys.
You know what, Mandy? I think would be a great guest on your show, aside from me, is also Graham Nolan should be on.
He was.
I think Graham Nolan should be on. You don't notice Mandy Summers anymore, dude. What's up with that?
I was busy talking to you. Hey, you want to hear some good news?
Yeah, I want to hear some real good news.
Tomorrow I get my hair cut.
What?
I'm freaking pumped. I've been counting down the days. Right before the show, I was like to Farrah, I was like, hey, look, I look like Wolverine.
I like
my hair was like spiking up real cool.
Do you got one of these Graham Nolan Sinatra hats?
No.
You don't have this. Is like the Graham Nolan, Darwin Cook, Rat Pack saving the spirit of the 60s. Anyway, you know what, Nile, enough about us.
Yes.
Why don't we bring in the man who knows the love of a good woman, the taste of a fine scotch, and the drag of a good cigar?
Mr. Graham Nolan.
There he is. What's up?
What an intro.
What an intro.
Graham, what does a fine woman taste like, my friend? I've always wanted to try one.
He did go to the Kubert school.
Ooh.
You know things about the Kubert school. All right, I'm going to take this out.
Oy.
Graham, you have fans here. Look at this.
Oh, there's Mandy.
Mandy
I was
Summers.
on Mandy's show. What are you saying? I should go on it. I was on her show.
Mandy Summers has an amazing show. She is probably
She's a lot of fun.
She's fun.
Yeah, one of the most gregarious YouTube personalities. She's got a great following, a great show, and you should go on.
I was
on.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, how many times we got to say it?
Oh, how come I wasn't on the show yet? Why won't she have me on?
I don't know.
Why she have me on her show?
She said, hey, Nile and Billy should come on the show. We're like, yeah, let's get some dates together.
Yeah,
and then she said, you know what?
Wait to go on the show and
you should do it. It's fun.
I was like, Mandy, notice me. Notice me, Mandy. I got nothing. Inker says, hi, Graham, Billy, Nile. Inker, what's going on?
What's up? I can take this hat off.
TJ James is in the house. Everyone's starting to roll in. Graham, how have you been, man? It's been a little while since we've had you on the show.
It's been a month of Sunday since we've had
I've been busy, you know. This crowdfunding thing is a lot of work.
It is, ain't it, bro?
It is, but it's a lot of fun too. I mean, because you're in total control. and you're building relationships with your fans, your backers, your supporters, and everything. And I'm just loving that.
Isn't it something about that you have to, that, you know, you hold, the buck stops here with you because you are in direct contact with your readers now. There's no distributor interference, no retailer interference. Not that it's interference, but there's just none of that.
No publisher interference.
It's you and the fans.
And
it's great, isn't it? And
it's a new paradigm, and I love it. I think it's fantastic.
What's it like being like your own editor and stuff like that when you're going through and go, like, are there other artists or creators that you confide in, like, hey, I'm going to send you some stuff, let me know, or are you just doing what you want to do?
No, I'm at a point in my career where I do what I want to do. I know what I want to do. I mean, I need editing as far as like make sure I spelled everything right.
Yeah.
And maybe that my grammar was right and punctuation and all that kind of stuff. But I really don't need it as much for story content, you know, because there's no gatekeeping here.
Excuse me, Graham, does this guy belong to you?
What's that?
I don't know. This guy just popped in.
What up?
Dr. Blevins is in the house, everyone.
Chenoo Buffett.
Oh, gee, buffet, yeah. Like I'm pretty much all he can eat, I think. What's up?
Oh, that's funny.
Dr. Blevins, good to see you, Dr.
Yeah,
Blevins.
good to see you guys too. I'm glad I could make it. We had a very amazing, peaceful protest today, and I had to go. I was at the store location to make sure that nothing went wrong, and it was great. Yeah, it was great, man. Lots of really good energy. It was pretty good, you know. There's you watch the news and stuff, and you have all these people, basically making you kind of paranoid that something is going to happen, and then you get out there and it's really, the people in your area are super nice and cordial and just want to be heard. Hey, Mandy.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? You gotta like people exercising their rights. I love it. I think you gotta admire them for it, the passion they have and all, and it's nice. It's when you get the rabble rousers coming in. The
rabble rousers. That's a good word.
The rabble rousers coming in, and then they start taking over cities and stuff, and that's when things get a little crazy. What do you say? What do you say, Graham? A little crazy.
A little crazy.
A little crazy indeed. Well, we're glad everything's stayed afloat for you there, Dr. Blevins. We're just chatting here with the legend, the man.
I am not an
inspiration to myself, Mr.
Graham
Nolan.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on POPXP. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you do.
What?
Feel free to send him pics of any weird growth.
Don't send any more pics, please. Like after the first, after the first run through, I'm like, dude, I'm not a doctor. I appreciate you trusting me with this information. I'm not going to share it, but I'm not really a doctor. That's a joke that they're saying on the show.
Well, and she Return of the Warrior, Dr. Blevins.
Yeah, it's a character in a book that I just happened to get named after me. Like that doesn't make me like I mean, I just got a title right. I didn't get a PhD. You know what I'm saying? Unless I didn't sign up. I didn't sign up for that. Did we hit that PhD stretch goal? I'm not sure.
So Graham, tell everyone out there if they're not familiar with the Chenoo, give us a little backdrop on the story. Yeah. How it came to be, because I remember you had two projects when you were ready to launch. You have two projects in the pipe, and you chose this one. I don't want to give away the other one because you'll say that for a big announcement for the next. But tell us, why did you pick the Chenoo, and tell us the story of the Chenoo.
Okay. Well, it's Chenoo.
Chenoo.
Chenoo. Yeah.
How very French of you.
It's Indian. It's Native American. I got the idea for the story as I was driving along Lake Erie in the winter one time. I was driving Mary into school, and I saw this storm coming in over the lake. It was already covered with ice and stuff and snow and just dark clouds and everything. I was like, wow, that would be a really cool atmosphere for a horror story. So after I dropped her off, I went into a coffee shop and I wrote down some ideas about what I wanted to do. And I thought about an ice creature that would come off the ice to feed. So I went in and I started Googling like myths for ice creatures and stuff like that, and I came across a Native American one called the Chenoo. And the Chenoo was once a man who scarred his soul so badly, usually through cannibalism, that he turned into this creature that would feed on the hearts of men to try and reclaim some of the warmth he could no longer have. And I thought, wow, that's perfect. This is perfect for my story. So once I had that, I kind of played with the history a little bit, and I turned it into a siege story where a bunch of strangers get holed up in a house, isolated, and during the storm of the century, the blizzard of the century, as this creature outside the house is hunting them. And I thought, wow, I love claustrophobic horror, like Alien. It just adds to the tension and stuff. And I thought, if you've ever been through a blizzard, what it's like, it's a very odd thing because it's very silent, but there's also the noise you hear from the wind and the howling and stuff like that. It's just a unique experience, and I thought this would be a great story to tell because I love monsters. Everybody knows that about me. I love monsters. So
definitely have an island about it.
Yes,
island. Yeah.
The difference between this and Monster Island was that Monster Island was a send up of fun monsters. The comic book monsters we all grew up on. This is a straight up horror tale. Where people's lives get ended, and in fact, I had a couple tears. I had 2 victim tears that have been taken by 2 gentlemen from Buffalo, who are going to get killed by the Chenoo in a very wonderful way. And then I've got 2 survivor tears also in the campaign, and those are a little bit more expensive because you're going to be a main character. You're in the house. You're one of the people that are holed up in this house, and you're going to survive it. So you're going to be in most of the book, your name and your likeness. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to bring the ultimate fan experience into that you are part of the comic, because as we talked a little bit about this whole crowdfunding thing, the ability to reach out and have an interconnection between the creator and the fans, it's so much more personal a way of doing a business like this. Yeah. Because without them, there is no business. They love this stuff, and we love creating this stuff. And I think it's awesome that we can create it sort of together. I can do stories that publishers don't want to do. But I think that are really cool. If I think it's cool, then somebody else is going to think it's cool. And
that's right.
Apparently, a lot of people do.
Amen.
I just came up with an amazing tagline for this. Are you ready? I just came off the top of my head. I just created this, and you can have it. It's from me to you. Okay.
All right.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Chenoo knows, because he eats the hearts.
I'm going to take a hard pass on that one.
The Chenoo knows.
Hey, Graham, let me ask you now, like, this is your campaign, right? You're doing this, and you're bringing that up, crowdfunding becomes personal between the creator and the fans. Are you finding you're having more contact with your fans during this? Are they reaching out to you, asking you questions? Are you finding you're more readily available to them?
Well, yeah, I've always been readily available, but when you're working with corporate comics, they don't always know that because they don't have access to the information. But I mean, I've always been out there in social media and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I've been reaching out personally to Facebook fans. I've been sending personal messages because I've been trying to, avoid the algorithms that Facebook is crippling creators with. So the way around that is, there's it's a 2% is what they say. 2% of your fans are going to see your posts, and of that 2%, they're the ones that are always interacting with you. So it's the same people that are going to see your posts. The way around that is direct messaging to them, where you'll have an 80% hit rate, or actually it's 100% hit rate, but because you're going right to them. So that's what I'm doing. It's laborious and time consuming, because, you know, I want to put their name in there. I don't want to just say, hey, gang, you know, and send a form letter. So,
yeah.
But I've had a lot of good results with that. So yes, they're reaching out. Like I'll send the stuff and they'll come. Oh, and what's amazing is they'll say, I didn't even know about this. Thanks for letting me know about this. So we're friends on Facebook. They don't see it in their feed at all. And they're surprised to see it. And they're happy to see it. So, you know, I'm just trying to get it out there and, you know, let people know that it's out there and what it's about. And, you know, if they got questions, happy to answer it. And, you know, so far so good. The results have been good and the response has been really good.
Yeah. Actually, we got a cool question here. Maybe so. Kevin Freer, frequent viewer of the show, asks, on the business side of things, Brian Scher recommended on a recent show to create an LLC. Do you guys have any other business advice for, you know, independent creators and publishing your own stuff?
Well, I'm not an LLC. I'm an S Corp. So, which is similar, you know, it affords you certain tax breaks, but mostly LLCs and S Corps give you an umbrella of safety, you know, against people suing you for stuff. So that's why you do it.
Yeah, Billy, what about you?
Yeah, we have it. We're a, you know, we have Crusade Fine Arts. I think we're a, I think I'm a C Corp. I think we have a corporation. So yeah, it's the same corporation I've had for over 25 years. So.
Oh, interesting.
Why you don't have one yet now? Carbon Media?
LLC represent.
LLC. You LLC in it, bro?
Dude, you down with the LLC? LLC, yeah, you know.
You know me.
All
sorry,
right, I apologize.
we're immature, Graham. We're sorry. We're sorry. But let's check out the campaign because I mean this thing's doing great.
Yeah. It's
awesome. You gotta check out the new video.
Oh my gosh, I love the video.
Oh,
let's do this.
There's the new one. Nice.
There's a new video, and we're gonna play. Let's play it right now.
State of emergency declared this morning in Buffalo.
Between 4,000 and 5,000 cars said to be abandoned on city streets.
Buffalo is still very much a city under siege.
Space's wind whips the snow into 30-foot drifts.
Niagara Falls Air Base, one of their...
Below tonight, 10 below zero. Get off the streets and highways as soon as possible.
Sweet, Graham.
Graham, you're up in that
was
video game.
That was done by Nick Roche.
Graham, is that your house in the video?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I ask people that because a lot of times they do use their own houses in the video, like in the book. Like, oh, I'll take a picture of my house.
No, that it is a house in Buffalo, but it's I don't live in Buffalo. I live outside of it. But yeah. So the architecture is accurate.
Yeah, Apex comment. Chenoo scares the crap out of me. It is creepy. I love it. Good. I love the design of the character.
Without sounding super ignorant, is that 1977 Blizzard stuff? Is that real?
Yeah.
The Blizzard of 78.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it looked pretty real. I was like, all right, I got another place to check off my list to never go to.
Yeah, if we hit the stretch goal of 30,000, which is we're about 4,000 away from that, I'm going to add story content to the book, and I'm going to tell a tale from the 77 storm.
Nice.
Oh, very cool. Nice. Now, I'm sorry, you were saying you actually gave a shout out to the gentleman who did the video.
Yeah, Nick Grosh did
Right.
it. He's a video editor. He did it and sent it to me. He said, "Hey, I want to show you this fan video. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Shit, this is amazing!" You know?
Yeah.
It's so much better than the one I had up. I just had me sitting in front of the TV camera here, and Mandy will attest to it because we played it on her show, and I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh, this is terrible," you know. And then this thing came along. I said, "Nick, you know, do you do this for a living?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Good, because I'm using you for my next campaign." You know, and he said, "Oh, fantastic." So he's gonna do the video for my next one.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that came out. I saw that just a couple of days. I think I messaged you. I was like, Graham, this is freaking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
I mean, when I wrote the Chenoo, I was thinking movie. I was thinking Netflix movie, you know, one and done horror show, that type of thing. And after seeing that video, it's like, damn, I want to see this movie.
Yeah.
So is this your first horror story of sorts?
No. Well, it's yes and no. I mean, I did some stuff for Eclipse when they did Tales of Terror and stuff like that years ago, back in the 80s. But this is the first like straight horror that I've created, written, and illustrated.
Yeah. Now, is this an all ages horror comic, or do you have
No.
No, it's not all ages.
Like no.
No. That's what I'm saying. You know, Monster Island was an all ages fun monsters. This is straight up horror. If this was a movie, it'd probably be rated R.
Oh, nice.
Did you see
Now,
them teeth?
now you say that you're a fan of horror. Did you love like all horror? Like, I mean, we were monster kids, you know?
Yeah.
We're about the same age, you and I.
Yep.
Did you get the the Aurora models?
Oh yeah. Sniff the glue.
Yeah, absolutely. With the glow in the dark Godzilla with the bird head. Remember
Yeah.
It's like, why does Godzilla have this head?
Hey, that was the 1962 Godzilla. That was the Godzilla from Godzilla versus King Kong. The lizard.
That pointy face like that?
That was my favorite one.
With the beak? Like
yeah, that's not
Diablo?
He looked like an alligator. He had like a lizard face, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that version. The 62 version is my favorite Godzilla.
Nice.
But yeah, I was a monster kid too. And I love classic horror, you know, the Universal monsters, the creature feature movies, famous monsters of Filmland, the Monster Times. You probably remember the Monster Times living in New York.
Yeah, I don't remember the Monster Times. I collected all the famous monsters of Filmland. At one time, I had almost an entire collection. And then we sold our house, and when I was in college, and my mother was renting, and we put everything in storage, and then she didn't pay it, and they threw out like my whole childhood was in a storage.
Oof.
Lost it. It had all my famous monsters of Filmland. And which I was in issue 151 actually, by the way.
Oh,
yeah, I guessed the man who fell to earth. Remember, you could guess the movie.
Yeah.
Yep, the movie still, and it was the man who fell to earth, and I guessed it, and I got in there. But
very cool.
Yeah, I love that stuff too. I was just a freak for it.
Yeah,
monster freak.
Yeah, I was a monster fan before I was a comics fan.
Yeah, me too.
You know, when my mom let me watch Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, it was like it lit up my life. I was like, oh my god, this is so great, and I'm so scared. and I love those. I've loved those monsters ever since. You know, I don't like slasher films. I don't like homicidal murderer type stuff because that's just too real, and then they throw all the violence in it. I like a straight up monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they don't make enough of those anymore. But Netflix has been making them and importing them. There's been some coming from Ireland that have been great. So there's some cool stuff out there.
Yeah, I my favorite Black Cat guy just posted the creature from the Black Lagoon is the ultimate universal monster, and
hands down,
he's my favorite. And the whole thing about the creature is
Wolfman.
He wasn't the monster at all. We were the monsters, weren't we?
Right. Yeah.
Man was the monster.
You were the monsters. Man.
Yeah. Problem with the creature from the Black Lagoon is they had a choice to make. They couldn't do both. They either wanted to film it in 3D, which would precipitate it being black and white, or do it in Technicolor. They couldn't do both because of the budget constraints, and they chose 3D black and white. And that movie suffers from it.
Very first movie I
that
ever saw.
movie in full color would have been amazing.
Yeah. Just for the gimmick of 3D, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the very first movie I ever saw in the theater. My mom took me to it. Yeah, and I've never been able to watch a horror movie since.
Mine was Beaches. It was really scary.
You know, I agree. I would have bet Beaches would be a scary film.
Very scary. Now, Graham, I have to ask. Now, what was the inspiration for the character design?
You know what? I think as I look at it now, and I've refined it and everything, and I think back into my past, the things that scared me, I think it's the Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I think it's like the Bumble on steroids.
Yes.
You know, that thing scared the crap out of me when I was a little kid.
That's great. Yeah, he was terrifying. Remember?
He was scary.
Yeah.
And then they took his teeth out, right?
Yeah.
And he was eating like applesauce. He was like an old man after that.
Right. Well, they're not going to take the Chenoo's teeth out. I can guarantee you that.
Now, that piece that I showed, that's actually a level. You can actually buy this piece.
Yeah. Nice. That's the first drawing of the Chenoo ever done.
Wow. And when did you do that drawing?
Last year, I think. Okay. Earlier this year, something like that.
So I know
it was in 2019.
Okay. Is that when you actually started putting all this together?
Yeah.
But how long has it been though since like the original idea came into your head? I know that you told us the story, but when was
I think it's about a year.
About a year?
A little over a year, yeah. Yeah, it was. I think it was the winter of 2019.
Okay. Now, can you give us a little like premise of like the story or any like the other characters in there? I see that you got some other designs here.
Yeah, the main protagonist is going to be a cop, and we're going to follow him as he ends up picking up somebody in his squad car to get warmth and to get to safety, and then they end up getting stuck in the snow because it just keeps going, and just like the blizzard of '77, the snow is piling up so fast. Mm-hmm. I mean, it gets up to the level of telephone poles. That's how high it got in '77. And so these guys they have to hole up in this house. They see a light on, and it's the only house that has a power generator. So, and that's what ends up attracting the Chenoo to this house. Is it sees the light, it sees the warmth, and so that's what attracts him. And then some of his neighbors, the guy who owns the house, a couple of his neighbors, and sort of a belligerent drunk from the local watering hole have come over, and they're all stuck in this house together. Mm-hmm. And then the Chenoo has to try and draw them out.
Oh, wow. How does he do it?
That's terrifying.
Without giving the story away, is it possible that the Chenoo is just misunderstood?
I'm pretty sure we understand him.
All right.
And his motivations. He wants your heart, dude. He wants to tear your heart out. And
he's hungry.
So, now that we have many more viewers on this live stream, can you tell us again what inspired this story?
You mean the drive on the lake?
The drive, and then based on Native American tales and stuff like that.
Okay. And for those of you who heard it before, sorry. So I was driving into Buffalo on the 190 during the winter time, taking my daughter to Buff State, and I looked out on the lake. It was all frozen, and there was a storm coming in, and it's very dark and gray. And I thought that would be a really great setup for a horror tale. And so I went to a local coffee shop and I started writing down ideas. And I wanted to have a sort of an ice creature, something to come off the ice, the same way that in John Carpenter's The Fog, there was these creatures in the fog, the ghosts of the pirates. I thought I love that motif. So I thought maybe within the storm there's this creature. So I did some research and I found in Native American lore a creature called the Chenoo. And the Chenoo was once a man who had scarred his soul, usually through cannibalism, and it turns him into this creature that seeks to eat the hearts of men in trying to reclaim the warmth it'll never have. And so once I had that, then it became a simple puzzle to piece together for the story, to turn it into a siege story, to have this creature come off the lake, have these people trapped in a house and be hunted by him. And it's a very claustrophobic tale of horror and terror.
Now, is this like a one-shot book you're doing, or is this something you plan on making a series at all?
Nope. I don't think, you watch good movies or you read good stories and they say, oh, let's do a sequel. And you're like, oh, why? It was great as it is, Let the readers fill in the blanks if they want. I just don't think everything has to have a sequel. If anything, I might tell a tale like I said, when we hit that 30,000 and I add extra story content, I'm going to add a story from the 77 blizzard of when the Chenoo first came into Western New York at that time. But I don't have any plans to do another series or another tale of this, because I've got other things that I want to do. I've got 3 or 4 other properties that are on my backlog that I want to develop and publish under my my Compass Comics banner.
That's a great model. Awesome. So so basically, what you want to do is you're going to have like Apex just said, one and done. So you're going to have you're going to do a couple of these a year. So you have the Chenoo is done. Once the Chenoo is done, it's done. There's your intellectual property. You have it. You got it boxed. You got it packaged, almost like a novel. There's your novel. You know what I mean? And then you move on to the next one, and that's basically what your plan going forward is going to be.
Yeah. When I started Compass Comics back in 1998, it was originally to produce Monster Island, and what I wanted to do was the reason I call it Compass Comics, because I wanted to take comics in a different direction. And that's what a compass is for. And I want to be able to do stories that don't necessarily lend themselves to series, but are just really great stories. The kind where you go, oh man, that was a great story. Well, that was a great movie or whatever, that I'm not planning on long-term series per se. Right now, I want to focus on really great story content and be one and done, in various genres too. The next one is going to be a science fiction tale. But it's science fiction is just the backdrop of the tale. The real heart of the story is a relationship between a father and son, and it falls under a science fiction backdrop. And then the one after that, I'm thinking of is going to be a kind of a buddy type story that has some supernatural aspects to it. So these are the kind of tales that I want to tell that are different. I'll eventually do a superhero story too. I don't see why not. Why not compete with Marvel and DC when a lot of us can do it better than what they're doing. So I'm not going to take superheroes off the shelf.
Yeah.
But I want it to be something really cool and really different. Again, the comics in a different direction.
Yeah, we have another thing, Graham. What about this? You should do an Indiegogo of a collected volume of Sunshine State. Have you thought about that?
Oh yeah. That's definitely, that's more of a niche market, And as I try to establish my Compass Comics brand, I want to get a good foundation before I do that, because again, that is a niche market. I don't know how successful it would be financially to do that. So I want to do stuff that the crowdfunding fan base would be more apt to support and enjoy.
Yeah, and Apex Comics says, Graham, you can win against Marvel and DC.
Heck yes.
Heck yes.
Graham Nolan, heck yes.
Now, are you planning on, with all these future books that you're kind of giving us a little glimpse into, do you plan on doing everything like you're doing now, the drawing, the writing, all that stuff? Or are you kind of leaning towards doing more of one than the other?
That's a good question, Nile. I've been thinking, I think it might depend on the property itself. There's certain things that I don't think I'm maybe really good at that somebody would be a better stylist for. I have a series that I'm doing for Aftershock Comics that I'm just writing because, you know, it's not something I really wanted to draw. And I got a great artist working on it. And I'm thinking that I might do the same thing here with Compass Comics, in that I would, you know, hire an artist to do stuff that I didn't want to do, but I would focus on the writing.
Is it hard to kind of let go of that? Like to let go of the artist, you know, the artist end of it and doing the drawing and the art and just focusing on writing?
Not at all.
No.
The drawing's the heavy lifting. I mean, that's the heavy lifting. It takes you 30 seconds to write about the Mongol hordes, you know, charging over the steppes, you know, with their archers and arrows and leaping over. I'm done. Now the artist got to draw that. That's 2 days work.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I definitely want to do more of the writing end, but you know, it depends on how personal the project is, you know. And you know, a time management type of thing. If the company starts to go off and the Indiegogo things really begin to take off, I think that you know, I could focus more on the writing and the business end of stuff, you know, and hire artists, you know, that are looking for work, you know. So you know, everything's open.
Yeah. Now, do you find yourself, like, now that you're kind of starting this, because I mean, this is your first Indiegogo, that's yours, right? I mean, are you finding almost like a raised spirit, kind of like a revitalization in what you're doing? Like
Yes.
Igniting of passion?
Yes, very much so, because I'm really enjoying the work. I'm enjoying the challenges of learning new skills, because this whole thing is, you know, has been a total learning curve for me. You know, I have to create all the assets for everything that goes up on the campaign. As soon as we hit a stretch goal, bam, I'm back at it, trying to, you know, like we just did the bookmark. So today I designed and created that bookmark. And it was just so much fun, because I'm thinking of the backers and the fans, and what if I was a backer of a fan, or a fan of this property, what would I like to see, you know? So I'm trying to keep it fun, you know, the product's fun, and the imagery on it reflective of the story, but also a little cheeky and fun, you know, like if you can scroll down and show them there's the bookmark there. See, I got the Chenoo peering over your book.
Nice, dude.
Oh, nice.
And it says you left off here. And then, you know, there's blood splatter and on the Greeked in type there. You know, I thought that would be a fun. My wife Julie really wanted the bookmark. She was really pushing.
That's a beautiful bookmark.
It's awesome.
She wanted the bookmark. And then the sticker that everybody's going to get also, which I think you scroll down a little bit for. Oh, there's the collectible trading card.
Yep.
On the back, you know, I list the stats like a baseball.
I was just looking at that. Height 7'2", weight 357 pounds.
But
Real name unknown.
The fun stuff is the chart stuff at the bottom. It lists the year. You know, it lists the deaths and the injuries. And then there's 1994. There's an asterisk because it was a strike year.
Oh, well done.
Was the Chenoo male or female?
Who knows? Who cares?
Who knows?
Oh, so there's no.
I'm guessing it was a guy. You know, it had to be a guy.
Had to be a guy.
Has to be a guy.
The window sticker. That's
sticker.
Awesome. I love that. That should be a freaking print. And then it's like having a window on your wall with the Chenoo peering at you.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that as a print at another level.
Yeah,
that kind of scares me a little bit.
I love that. But you know, like I'm such a big Bigfoot guy, like all those unsolved mysteries and things. I mean, this is like right up my alley. You know, I love this stuff, and I like meat.
That's based on the old beef campaign. Beef,
Yeah.
what's for dinner? You know,
Right.
Robert Mitchum did it originally, and then after he passed on, then they got what's his name? You know, the cowboy guy with a mustache.
Oh, Sam
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott.
Yeah. So I went online and I found the actual advertising campaign, and there's a website called What the Font, and if you take an image and drop it in there, it'll decipher what the font is. So I did that with the beef campaign and got the actual fonts for
nice.
and recreated that thing. Instead of beef, it's what's for dinner. I put meat, it's what's for dinner.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's really cool.
We should add that in the description.
Yeah. Now, Graham, I also saw one of your levels, which I am in love with. I think it's fantastic, but you have to tell me how it works. Buy Graham a beer.
You just buy him a beer.
Buy Graham a beer.
Yeah.
There it is.
You know?
Hey, click on that. Read what it says. So maybe you aren't into comics or horror. Oh,
no.
So maybe
you want a bed. There you go.
You can buy me a beer.
I'll buy you a beer at a convention.
Yeah. Well, like, click on it once.
There we go.
So maybe you aren't into comics or horror, but you think Graham is a swell guy. You want to buy and support the campaign, then buy him a beer because God knows he needs one.
Dude, that is great, bro.
I got 18 of them.
Right there.
Great.
I'm gonna get stewed when this thing is over.
Graham's gonna be like, "Let me tell you something about this."
You know what, Graham? If it's okay, I'm gonna steal that because I think Debbie needs a glass of wine.
There you go. Buy Debbie a glass of wine.
That's brilliant, bro. That is brilliant.
Well, this is cool too. I mean, I just saw this happy hour Skype call.
Yeah, that one of those has been claimed because it was an add-on, so it doesn't show it as it shows it as 0, but one of them has been claimed. I got the idea for this is because the conventions are all shut down, and I remember the conventions in Chicago back in the late 80s that were in Rosemont. Yeah. It was an airport hotel out in the boondocks, so you weren't actually in Chicago. But the cool thing about that place, you were at those shows, right, Billy?
Yeah, in the 90s. Not the 80s, but the 90s.
Okay, when it was still at Rosemont.
Yeah, Rosemont. Yeah.
Okay. So you remember that hotel where the bar was right in the center?
Yeah, the Hyatt.
And no, it wasn't a Hyatt.
It wasn't the Hyatt?
No. It was the airport Rosemont.
I wasn't at that one. No.
Yeah. So anyway, this bar was right in the center, and at the end of the day, all the creators, all the guests were at that bar, and all the fans that were staying at the hotel were at that bar. It was because there was no place for anybody to go. It wasn't like you could just walk out and meander around and see all the sights of Chicago, and it was so cool. I remember standing there, hearing some fans talking, and then right here, Stan Lee.
What?
Yeah, he's standing right there. He's having a drink, talking, everything. It was the coolest thing. So with the lack of conventions and the interaction, again, back to that fan interaction, I thought if you're going to get creators to talk, you sit in a pub and talk with them, because that's when they're relaxed and loose and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, what a cool idea would be do a Skype call. You pick your favorite beverage, I'll get my favorite beverage, and we'll be like two pals in a pub talking.
Mm-hmm.
Guys.
Talking, asking questions. I could regale you with stories of the industry or the past, or whatever's on your mind. There's nothing off limits. You want to talk.
Now, are these one-on-one? Are these one-on-one Skypes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great idea, bro.
That is a great idea.
Great idea.
What if you get like someone who just sits there looking at you?
What if they're just in awe?
Sipping
They're just in awe. They're just
like, hey, Graham.
Hey, Graham.
Drinking their Dr. Pepper. Hey, Graham, do you like comics?
And they're new.
That's you, Dr. Blevins.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You heard the nude part. He's like, what?
I bugged Graham so much on Facebook, I just had to quit messaging him. I figured I bothered him way too much.
You were bothering me.
Oh, dude. I message you a lot, I know.
No, it's completely fine.
Now, your original art levels you have here. I mean, these are like you've got stuff from like the original art from like some of your mainstream stuff you've done.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't sell my originals. So I thought this was an opportunity for art fans and collectors to actually get some original art.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do sketches and commissions every now and then when my schedule opens up and stuff like that. But actual printed artwork, I haven't sold in, my gosh, a lot of years.
Man, I
have a lot of
it. Graham, what
this one's sold out.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I just know that's a good one.
Yeah, I added another sketch level though. I added 10 more of those to it because that did sell. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's
now
7.
Those are just portraits, correct?
Just headshots.
Just headshots. I mean, sorry.
How long? How many pages is the book, and when do you when's it scheduled to come out?
48 pages scheduled. You know, you have to put an estimate date. It's October.
Nice.
I'd like people to have it for Halloween. If depending on how high this thing goes, I mean, if it really goes through the roof and I'm adding more content, then it might have to go past October. It just depends, on how high it goes and all the stuff that has to be created to add on,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that was from your Monster Island pledge, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
Do you have any other sketches, Dr. Blevins?
I do have other sketches, but they're from other people. That'd be.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were showing your Graham Nolan collection.
No, I don't have all of them here. Like some of them are already boxed up.
Nice.
I missed him. I was going to go up to Fayetteville and get another sketch while he was here, even though I already had the Monster Island sketch, but then I didn't get a chance to go get it when he came down. Mm-hmm. So I missed him and Jim Shooter. Sad times. That was at the start.
Did you get to see Graham? Did you go to that show?
No, that was the very start of the C-19 stuff.
Yeah.
The very start.
Got canceled, right?
No, it didn't get canceled. You guys were there. I just didn't drive up there to go get it. It was it's like an hour away from me.
No, he just hung out at the hotel bar waiting.
Yeah, I just stood outside with a sign that said Nolan. and you never came outside.
I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm an Uber. Mind your business." He had an Etch-a-Sketch that said Nolan.
Yeah, after 4 days, they're like, "You gotta go, bro. That show's over with. It was over like 2 days ago." I was like, "But he never came outside."
Yeah,
you don't hold up a sign; you hold up a cigar.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
I had this,
Billy.
I had this bottle of Hennessy.
Oh, that bottle of Hennessy.
A homeless person gave him that bottle of Hennessy, and he still has it.
Yes. It's got character, Billy.
It's got cooties.
That's just so weird. Yes, I got this bottle of Hennessy from a homeless man living in my shed. Right,
yeah,
keep my recycling business.
He's like, "Here's this bottle of Hennessy. Don't call the cops on me." And I'm like, "All right, homeless guy."
All right, man. And then he was like, "You want me to pack you a lunch?"
He's like, "Let me grab the rest of my stuff," and he's grabbed it by empty cardboard boxes. I'm like, "What? All right, whatever. You can have it."
What the hell?
There's always something fun happen over at Blevins house.
Arkansas is where it's at, man. That's where all the craziness happens. But yeah, like I definitely gonna have to get yet another Batman sketch. I think on this one.
Yes.
Or I might try to get a Rocketeer. I don't know.
Hey.
Ooh, how about a Nightwing?
No.
Hey, Graham, do you think that's it for the comic book conventions for the year? Do you think they're all going to be shut down?
No, I have one coming up in next month.
Man, didn't they just announce the San Diego Comic-Con online? Didn't they just announce that today?
What?
Yeah, they're doing San Diego
online.
Yeah,
San Diego Comic-Con online.
Yeah, I've had a few I can't say names yet because I'm not allowed to, but I have to help like engineer and produce a few of the actual recorded panels.
Nice.
Oh, it's panels though.
It's well, yeah, but it's the virtual San Diego Comic-Con. So they're gonna have the panels you have to be recorded and submitted in. And then they're gonna be doing live interviews and some other stuff. I don't know how they're handling like an Artist Alley type situation. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I don't know.
No, but they are.
I don't know the deets. I don't know the deets on it.
You
Well,
know,
you know,
buddy?
Tampa Bay is on, and that's in July, and that's going to be a regular con. Might be scaled down. I don't know, but I'm going. So,
well,
Tampa Bay, here I come.
Is
South
Chuck
Carolina
gonna be
con's
there?
still
Chuck
on, right?
going?
Yeah, Chuck will be there.
Nice. That's not cool,
yeah.
man.
I think Sergio is going too.
Nice.
Yeah, I think South Carolina's. I haven't heard anything about
Yeah.
South Carolina being canceled.
No,
they
it's still
rescheduled it, right?
On my birthday. What's
On your
up?
birthday. There we go.
Gonna buy Billy a drink.
Yeah, I haven't heard from them. Oh, wait a minute. What's the date of that?
July 18th.
July 18th. Okay, that's a week before my son's
Like, oh, I'll be in the
graduation.
You forgot my birthday, Billy?
No,
I thought we were friends.
Sorry.
Say what? That's cool.
Yeah, we got to see what's going on. I got to see if I haven't talked to them yet, so I have to see if I'm even going and what's going on. We got some stuff with our dog going on, and also I have to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love to go, but I just have to, not sure. I haven't heard.
New York Comic Con hasn't canceled yet.
No, they haven't canceled. I'm curious though, because
Dragon Con, yeah.
Dragon Con. I don't think Dragon Con canceled yet.
No, they haven't canceled. That's in
Boston
August.
did. Boston just canceled.
Boston did cancel?
Couple days ago, yeah. Because I was supposed to go to that.
Oh, you were?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Terrific Con got canceled, so that's not until 2021.
Yeah. What's the dates? What was the dates of the Boston show, Graham? Do you know?
In August. Sometime in August.
Yeah, so there's a big difference between these October shows and stuff.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, but then, like, I think it's just like everyone's like waiting because it seems like they leave like this almost 2 to 3 month window open before they make that decision. Like New York's going to be interesting, because right now, the certain facilities that they're using as like hospitals and things are where the convention's held.
Yeah, but nobody was in that hospital.
Yeah, no,
I know, but I'm wondering if they're still going to kind of hold off. We'll have to see. I'd like to see at least New York Comic Con. I need a fix.
New York's still standing.
Yeah, New York's still standing.
Yeah, Activision Blizzard just canceled BlizzCon too, and that takes place in November. Like they shot way ahead.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I know Black Cat guy doesn't think New York's going to happen this year.
I'm doubtful.
Yeah,
I think POPXP Con needs to happen.
Oh,
Baltimore, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Baltimore's still a go right now.
Yeah, Baltimore is still a go, so I'll be there.
I'll go to Baltimore. I'll do Baltimore.
I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go. Graham, you want to come?
I'm going right now.
Baltimore. Baltimore.
When is that?
October 18th and 19th or something like that, or 20. I think it's the weekend after that.
Okay.
May not have any security, says TJ James. Interesting.
May not have what?
Security.
Security in Baltimore,
What does that mean?
maybe? I don't know. But I mean, so Graham, what's your thoughts on like everything that's going on in 2021 with like comics? Distribution was put on hold. DC's going their own way. You've got retailers now, distributors.
Right.
Pencils were, some artists were told pencils down by huge, massive conglomerates who should have more than enough funds to keep their artists and everyone going.
Exactly.
Is it just you feeling safe in your own zone?
Well, corporate comics kind of left me a long time ago, spiritually and literally. I mean, my phone does not ring from DC Comics or Marvel Comics. When I search for work, I'll get an editor, who might be all of 25 years old, and just say, okay, thanks for sending it. I'll keep you in mind. Well, we all know what that means. You're not in mind. They're going to try and find their own young stud to hitch their little rocket to. Not some old fart like me. But so that's why I'm more interested in doing create our own stuff. And own it. Own my properties.
Absolutely, brother.
Now I know we had Chuck on like a week or so back, and he was saying that he actually is doing some stuff for DC again. The phone kind of started ringing. If that happened, if they started contacting you saying, hey, we'd like you to work on this or that, would you consider it, or would you rather just focus on your own stuff?
It depends on where I was with my own stuff. I mean, and what it was they were asking me to consider. The problem I have with corporate comics is, I played in that sandbox for 35 years and enjoyed it because there were characters I remembered and recognized. I don't recognize these people. You telling me that's Thor? Okay, if you say it's Thor, it doesn't look like Thor to me.
Yeah,
None of these characters resonate with me in any meaningful way. I think the only way I would do anything like that is if they gave me carte blanche and they said, okay, here's such and such a property, run with it.
Do you think that them controlling that narrative and not caring about any kind of pedigree or history of work that you have is maybe their way of getting rid of the old, basically, to just do the new and not caring about where they were, just wondering what kind of new start they can do?
You mean
with comics, like yourself and other, you're definitely not the first person that has said, hey, look, my phone's not ringing anymore when I was on, when I was top of the game, and I have a history, of multiple decades of dealing with this and they don't call me anymore. I mean, they are trying to get new people in there, obviously, but
absolutely,
why would they just totally disregard, people that created the history, that created the foundation of what they're building upon?
Well, I think there's a couple reasons for that. One is ignorance. Some of these people just don't know. They don't know the history of comics, even though they're working in comics. The other is styles. Every creator, when you're working for a corporation like this, has a shelf life. 1 minute your style is the hot thing, and the next it's passé. That's part of the game, and I get that, and I'm not trying to sound like some grumpy old guy because they don't call me,
Oh yeah, not taken like that at all.
Yeah, no, I love comics, and it's all I ever wanted to do since I was 12 years old.
Yeah,
and I'm also a realist, and I know what the game is. I've been in it long enough. And for me, I won't seek permission to create. If I can't get them to answer an email or pick up a phone, I'm not going to crawl under a rock and say, well, my career is over. I'm going to say, or I'm going to recreate my career the way I want to do it. I won't be told you can't do something because of some gatekeeper at a corporation. I'll just, the best revenge is to be successful on your own.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's nothing like it. I got to tell you, because that's how I started off. I started off as self-publisher. So it was all me. Everything was my own creator-owned stuff. And I love the freedom of it all. But then I started, most of my friends, though, that I hung out in New York, like I became friends with a lot of self-publishers. I became friends with Terry Moore and with Jeff Smith. Guys like that were doing their own books, Brian Pulido, but they all lived, like Terry lives down in Texas and Jeff lived in California, then Ohio. Brian lived in Arizona, Carolina, so I never saw those guys really. So the people I hung out with were all the New York crowd, and the vast majority of them were freelancers. So I really got into I was really influenced by them subconsciously. Do you know what I mean? I started to feel like them and act like them and get into their heads when they all told me later on that they wanted to do what I was doing. But I kind of got sucked into, oh my God, I love these characters. I would love to do a Daredevil issue. I would love to do, you know what I mean? And the thing is that, but I was able to do Daredevil. I was able to do Wolverine, but they were crossovers with my own character.
Right.
If I worked so hard on my own character, I was able to do crossovers with these characters I love on my own terms, pretty much.
Which is even cool.
Of course, there's parameters with their character. You submit the story, the script, and we really can't use that. And that's completely understandable because I'm like that as well. But I feel, and I'm sure you do. I mean, you have to, right? But just this feeling of satisfaction, like you were saying, you were creating the bookmark today, and it's yours. This is all yours,
Yeah. You know what? You know what? The other thing that I find really, really invigorating to my soul is that the trust that these backers have in me. I don't have pages up there because I haven't created them yet. I've started to lay out the story, but you know, some of these campaigns show you fully colored and stuff. So I don't have any pages. I don't have a series, and I don't have a character that anybody has ever seen before. And yet people are coming in and backing this project, and I'm taking it as they're backing me. They're trusting me to deliver.
Yeah.
And I think that's a powerful thing. And you know, I really take that to heart. That people have gotten this campaign up to where it is on that basic faith and trust.
Well, you've earned it though, also.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I mean, you've earned it. Like, it's not. I mean, it wasn't something that they just gave you right off the bat. I mean, you definitely earned it with all your Kickstarters and then also your history of work. I mean,
and that's also the astonishing thing is that faith in you, and it's a testament to your talent and your character that people are, you know, backing you like this. Your numbers are great, and you got to think this is your first campaign, and you're using a completely new character. It's not like you're bringing back, you know, say, you know, that the Chenoo was a big hit, you know, in 2005, and you're bringing him back. Right. You know, it's a completely new character, and you're like, I need the funding to tell this story. Here's the story. I hope you like it, and they're responding to it. You know, but that's a great thing because your next campaign for the next book is going to be even bigger.
Yeah.
Right.
Because all those people will be with you, and it's cool. I mean, I'm real happy for you, buddy. I really am.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate that. You know, again, it's that building. It's that building that base and that interaction with people. And when I deliver on time, like I say, I'm gonna, you know, I constantly update so people know. And as pages start coming in, those are going to go up. They're going to know. The backers are going to know every step of the way.
Yeah.
There's so many campaigns, you know, it's like months go by and there's nothing. I mean, I've donated to them, you know, and some that I've forgotten that I've donated to because I've just forgotten about it. And I couldn't even tell you what they are right now because it's been a couple of years.
I just got an email from a Kickstarter that I backed 4 years ago.
Wow.
And it was like, hey, fill out your survey and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And they're just starting to head towards fulfillment.
Really? Yeah.
And then I found out, like, the book's actually been done for quite some time.
Really?
Dude, that's what happened with me. I was waiting for Monster Island. I was like, why haven't I got my stuff? And I hadn't seen anything on it, so I just said, forget it. Then I was cleaning out my spam, and I saw the
like, what?
The Kickstarter backer stuff, and I'm like, why haven't I seen this? And it was literally like I contacted him and I was like, hey, what do I do? And you're like, just send this email to these people. I sent the email, boom, it was shipped out. I got it like 3 days later. Yeah, and I was like, man, like all this like anxiety of waiting whenever I was going to get the book, and then it's like snap of finger and it's done. So,
and it was a cool package, wasn't it? With the sticker.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I did, you know, nothing. I'm not trying to take away from your first book, okay, the first Monster Island, but definitely Return to Monster Island was infinitely better than the first one.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Liked it a lot.
Now, Creation Inc. is going to be fulfilling this project, so the packaging and everything, they're going to be doing all that stuff and shipping it out and everything. So it's going to be a really nice package when people get it.
Now, let me ask you a question. When you're going through, I mean, most crowdfunding creators that we talk to or interview, they're fulfilling themselves. When you're going through another company, let's say, to do all the fulfillment, do you order everything and just have it sent to them, or do they order what you want? Like, is it, do you work on like a package? How does it work working with a fulfillment company?
Well, working with them, they have the ability to do a lot of the printing too. So they might end up printing the comics. They're certainly going to do my posters, my prints, my stickers, the trading card, all that stuff they're going to do. They're going to print right in house, and it's going to be right there for fulfillment. So that's great. As far as the comic go, it might depend on how many issues are needed. Right now, they're I'm planning on having them do it, but we might have to use an outside vendor because right now I'm thinking I might need close to 1,000 copies.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's great, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, I want to have some overprint so that when we go in demand and stuff like that too. But I know we're gonna have. I need 500 is like the cutoff where you start to get into your price point starts to lower after 500 copies, and I know I'm over 500 now.
Agreed, TJ James.
Hey, James, all right, man.
Fantastic. You know what I love about INDIEGOGO is that INDIEGOGO reached out to me publicly on Twitter.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You don't see that from like Kickstarter or anything.
And we'll back you. And I said, because our first campaign, with we went both Kickstarter and INDIEGOGO. But it's a lot of work to do a dual campaign. And I don't know anyone else who had done it simultaneously. I'm going to be the guy to do that. And I'm sure other people have. I never saw it, so we had nothing really to go on. No other, no one reference. It's so much work. It's just so much. So you know what? I think from now on we should pick it. We should pick one platform and go with it. And because of Dynamite uses INDIEGOGO, I tweeted about INDIEGOGO. Something about it's live on INDIEGOGO, and they reached right out to me. And then I said, "See, this is the reason why I'm leaning to make, Shi Hotaru, our next book in August, to be exclusively INDIEGOGO." And they got right back to me again and said, "Let us know. We'll do whatever we can to help you." Because on Kickstarter, even though we hit, like on INDIEGOGO right now, Miss Fury's on there and it's trending in the comics thing. I click on it and it goes in the it says, "This is a book for you." This is something you might be interested in. With Kickstarter, and I'm very appreciative of Kickstarter and our backers of how well we did, but we were never once on Kickstarter one of their projects we love. Never once one of their projects that they recommend. Something got a project of the day, and we had hit our goal, our funding goal in hours. The first couple hours we hit it, and never once. So it was like, eh. So I'm real happy with it, with them myself.
And we've got Jimmy just popped in. We got Jim in the backstage. Let's bring him in. Oh,
hey Billy. Oh, I have Eddie from Eddie and the Outlaws.
What's up, Eddie?
Billy's one of the singers.
Eddie and the Lawbreakers. What's up, buddy?
That's right, from Baltimore.
You guys remember Graham Nolan, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, we do.
There's Graham.
Jimmy,
did you bring any fish?
Huh?
Did you bring any fish with you to the show?
No fish.
Okay.
I was out yesterday though. I got skunked.
Oh, I figured you'd be out. That's good. Hi, Nile.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
I have a growth.
Yes.
We'll talk about it later.
I mean, you can just send me a picture and it'll go with all the other ones.
Yeah, exactly.
I got some pretty interesting pictures to say the least. I was like,
I imagine.
I thought it was a joke until there were 16 of them. So I was like, oh, they think that this is real. So
I actually thought it was a joke too. I'm like, oh, were you just hyping that up? He's like, no, dude, people are sending me stuff. Look, I'm like, oh my.
Yeah, that's why I had
gosh. Like one guy's like, when I push into my neck, I see this lump.
Yeah, he's like, I see this lump, and there's like 3 pictures, and he's like, I don't know if you can see it or not. Can I FaceTime you and me show you? And I'm like, no, bro. Like, I'm not a real doctor, like at all. No.
Sign me on as an insurance here. Sign this insurance over to me.
Tell him to send his deductible to your address, Blevins.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think it's fine. That'll be $85.
I think that's
so Billy, Jim, how do you guys know each other? I know you've got a campaign on INDIEGOGO as well.
I'll go backstage, that way you guys can fill in the screen. You can just let me back on whenever they come back in, okay?
All right,
buddy.
You guys are awesome. I'll be just backstage. Peace.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, no, we met Jimmy. How did we meet? You remember?
Years ago. I mean, it was years ago when we did the ammo swap in New York City.
On the streets of New York City, baby.
Good old hunting days.
Out of the back.
Yeah, no, it's been years. Yeah.
You belong to the city.
But yeah, no, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Jim is one
It's
of
been years.
Yeah, at least, yeah. We're talking more than that. It's got to be close to 20 years.
It is, yeah.
So he's just one of the great guys, and he's got a campaign now on Indiegogo as well.
Thank you.
We got to help him get the word out because he launched a few weeks. When did you launch? Last week? The week before?
We launched the week before, I think. Well, a little over a week ago.
Yeah, a little over a week ago, and he's got an amazing collection of comic book royalty working with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got some nice guys. Joe Sinnott helped out. He inked one of the covers. He's not inking. He's not even taking mail anymore now. But when I go over there, he does draw with me when we go over. So as soon as he gets back out of this pandemic thing, then I'll be right back over there with him. But yeah, he's a love.
How's he doing? Is he
he's doing good right now.
Yeah,
you know,
excellent.
We're just keeping our fingers crossed for him at 92. And he did this at 92, the cover. He inked Jeff. It's on the site. You'll see the one with Jetta jumping up in the air. He inked that one.
Nice.
Then we have Al Milgram did a story for me, and that's out there. That was the Kennedy brothers on that image right there, by the way. They're really good. Pat and Tim Kennedy.
Yeah. I went to school with Pat and Tim. They were roommates of mine. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they did a great job on this stuff. They love doing the retro future, you know. That's one of the pages I just finished up and that they did. They've got great creative minds for this type of thing. And that's a cover Jeff Schultz and I did. Jeff Schultz is really talented too. He does so many different things that he can do.
So tell us about Jetta Raye Adventures. What are the backers looking into?
Well, Jetta was a character that Dan DiCarlo and a fellow that's not too far from here had started with Standard Comics back in 1952. And it was sort of Archie 100 years in the future from that date. And what happened was he hadn't been working for Archie at the time, but Archie was really big, so they did that. And then it just lay dormant for years. They only did 3 issues, and the issues were number 5, 6, and 7 for issue 1, 2, and 3. It was a joke. And then they just dropped it, and Archie was just too big to compete against. So they just let it go. So over the years, some people have done a few things here and there, but nothing really with new real characters or anything. So we all love the character. So Rich Maurizio asked me about it years ago. And I said, yeah, and then we never really did anything. And then about a little over a year ago, I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's just do something. So it's over 100 pages, great stories. We got Craig Bowman, Angelo DeCesar, Matthew Manning, who does DC and Marvel writing. All the writers were great. Paul Kupperberg did the story. We have stories in reserve in case this goes. But it's a lot of fun. It's about Jetta and her friends in the future in the 22nd century. And it's kind of like a retro future. Yeah. What you would have perceived it as back in 1952.
That's great. Yeah,
so just for the backers out there. So these are all new stories.
These are all brand new stories, all new art. And there's Bill Walko, one of the artists. He's got a specific style. All these guys have great style, and it's all ages. I wanted an all ages, and my rules to the writers. We're in New Jersey, and a couple of shows that writers were coming up to me saying, "Oh, I've heard you're doing a book. Would like to work with you." And I said, I have rules, and my rule is 100% entertainment. That's all I want. I don't want anything outside of that. I don't want nobody, telling people what to do. None of this stuff. Just think entertainment and think all ages, and that's what I want. And they were like, "That's what we want to write." So they came flying over.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. So, yeah, Bill Walko is actually a local to Connecticut here.
Yeah, he's a really good kid. Yeah,
very talented cartoonist.
He is.
He is a good
but
guy.
It's a lot of fun.
So you guys, what you did a 30-day campaign, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Now, are you guys going to extend this?
If you do 30 days, I think you can extend them too. I don't know.
Yes, you can.
How it works. I did a Kickstarter with Joe Sinnott years ago for a book that he wanted to do, and we did good with the book. back then. It was new at the time, the crowdfunding thing. But I've never done it since then. But Indiegogo seems to be really nicely focused for comic people.
Yes,
so
it is. They're really developing the comic end of Indiegogo. You know,
right.
It's cool to see them developing it. And like Billy said, I mean, even you know, Indiegogo is reaching out to creators directly. You know, commenting on their projects and things like that, and they're
right.
really trying to build up the whole, you know, their arm in the comic game.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of books out there now.
Yeah. So I see. So right now you guys have 18 days left. You have quite a ways to go to your goal.
Yeah.
27 backers. You got, you know, social media, man. That's the name of the game when you're doing these crowdfunding campaigns. Is you got to freaking live on social media.
Right.
So if you can extend it, I would definitely extend it and get yourself on some shows, some more shows. You know, we can give you a list of shows. So this is cool. I love this stuff, man. I love that retro
really
style Archie stuff. I mean, yeah, they're still doing Archie and things, but I mean, this is just fresh. You know, like you said, they originally only did 3 issues. You know, you guys are coming in with, I'm sorry, you said about 100 pages, right? Of just
it'll be over 100.
Over 100 pages of all new material.
Yeah, and we're almost done. I mean, I'm inking, I think, probably 8 more comic pages.
Yeah.
And I have 1 story that's coming in now that's just about inked. And that will be it for the book, except for if people want to be drawn into it, we will write a story and put them into a story in the book.
Awesome. And now actually, let's just step back a second and you know, let the viewers out there that are watching this live and that are going to watch this, you know, recorded, if you guys could tell us about yourselves. You know, how long you've been working in comics. You know, what got you into comics, and really what got you here today with this Indiegogo.
Well, for me, it was years when I was in the Marine Corps. I used to correspond with Will Eisner because he did all our manuals, and so he got me into inking. And I did, oh man, so many people. I did a lot of commission work with Jim Mooney. And Jim Mooney, I had 20 cats I maintained for years and years. Jim Mooney had 6. And he used to call me up all the time to ask me about cat problems. So we did a bunch of commissions together. And then I did some commissions with, oh my God, it's just so many people. And Joe Sinnott, and I did a lot of layout stuff for Joe Sinnott. Ghost inking for people. And they used to say, why don't you take the credits? But I never did because I always thought it would be kind of cheesy for me to try to do that with somebody that was trying to make a buck and they got caught short on trying to finish a story. So I did, you know, Archie and Friends. I've done Spider-Man and different books like that. And Eddie is my letterer. He does hand lettering. And he's been doing lettering for maybe 80 years now.
That is a crap.
That is all hand lettered.
Yeah, he's really good.
Calligraphic style.
Wow.
It's basically very small calligraphy.
You still have an ink guide?
Yeah. Still use the ink.
Yeah. No digital. Nothing's digital. Everything's old school with us.
Computer.
Yeah.
Even your coloring? Is your coloring digital?
No, the coloring we did. I did, but the colorist Mike Woods is really good. I like him. So we have him do that.
Wow.
And
How
we did strips too.
Hand lettering, I think, is an incredible art because it like look at this right here, right? I mean, you make everything look the same. Like it's incredible.
See the strips? You can see them on the strips there on the right. Now, Stan Lee would not do anything with digital lettering. So all the strips that I did with him had to be, they were lettered, Stan Sakai or James Chang, whoever. And then we get those strips back, and that's your secondary income for a lot of artists. So I saved all the stuff. I didn't sell it, but the artwork means more when you have the lettering in it.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody wants to display it on a wall or something, now you have the story behind the story with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's how I collect comic strips, and I like to get the originals. You know, they're on a big board. You know, they're not tiny like in the newspaper, but you've got the
ones we have
hand lettered. You know, and everything. It's so cool.
It's more interesting This,
It is.
you know, it's got flair, it's got style. I morphed every story I did. Each one, I tweaked the letters a little bit, so every story is a little bit different. And I use a different pen that I found out about for the last two stories, so that's even a different style. These are styles that I have amassed through over 45 years of, you know, I was a sign artist, line chaser for all these years, and so all these styles I invented styles that just came out for these stories, so that's unique in itself right there. Another reason to buy this book. You'll never see this anywhere but here in this book.
Well, let me ask you, what got you into lettering? Because it's not often that we get to talk to someone who actually hand letters.
My grandfather, since I could hold a pencil, I sat beside him. He was a calligrapher and sign artist, technical illustrator. He could really do anything. And he taught me everything, and I kind of picked up after him. And then I went to sign school in Boston, and I've been lettering, doing signs and all kinds of lettering, calligraphy on the side. Jimmy saw my calligraphy, and that's where he knew he wanted me to do this book. I met Jimmy at Larry Harrison's over in Salem.
Almost 20 years ago, too.
Almost 20 years ago. And it was related to this very topic. I was asking Larry about, I wanted to letter a comic book. And he said, well, this is the guy you should be talking to. And magically, Jimmy appeared, and there he was. And I started, you know, telling him I wanted to letter a comic book. And he blew me off at first. So, because he thought I wanted to do paste up and Photoshop. And I said, no, Jimmy, hand lettering. And then he's, oh, hand lettering. And then he was interested. So we've been friends ever since then. And we have the music in common, too. Eddie and the Outlaws and Billy, you know all about
the Lawbreakers.
But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
We got to have a reunion.
We do.
Yes,
we got to make a record.
We got to make a record. We should do.
That's right.
We should do a reunion live, though.
We can do that.
We could do that.
How cool that we do it on a POPXP. Eddie and the Lawbreakers. We have a.
That's right.
Graham, you want to sing?
No. Yeah, you don't want that.
Tambourine for Graham.
Cowbell. More cowbell.
Need more cowbell, Graham. Well, this is awesome, man. We, you know, we'll help keep spreading this through our channels for you guys.
Oh, we appreciate it.
You know, we'll share it on our Facebook pages, Twitter, Instagram, and we'll help spread the word on this. Because this is fun, man. This is cool.
I proudly backed yours, Graham, because this book is a gem. It really is. It's a book like no other book out there, and it just goes to show that, you know, you've already got backers, you know. But the thing is we've got to help push each other. We've got to get the word out for each other, share each other's projects, and even for those out there, if you guys, and I know things are kind of tough because a lot of people are out of work still, unfortunately. But even if you could just share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram, on your Twitter, anything else. These guys are among the best guys in the whole industry.
And this is an all-age book. You know, especially if you're trying to get your kids into comics, or even if you just want something else to read that's outside of your, you know, superhero dramas, horror. No offense, Graham, but you know, just like another different category to read. You know, this is cool, and you know, for creators out there, I mean, you should really get your hands on as many different books that you can, because you'll see different styles of writing, storytelling. You know, the illustrations in the book. I mean, this is what helps you grow. You know, it's definitely something in this style. Like even the Archie books now. I mean, to me, this even has a little more of that original style of the time from what I'm seeing in the campaigin. Where even like I look at some of the new Archie stuff, I'm like, yeah, you know, they're trying to like grasp some of it, but it's not the same as holding, you know, an old, you know, a 1950s, 60s Archie comic. You know,
well, a friend of ours, friend of Billy's.
You think it's easy, but it isn't.
It's not.
You look at the old Archie stuff. You know, you could see the skill that those guys had developing that. Was it Bob Montana? I think originated that style. And it's very hard to do, and the Kennedy brothers nailed it here.
They absolutely do.
It looks great. I mean, I backed it today, and I put it up on my wall too.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you.
It's so funny. He said someone had commissioned me. I think it was at Terrificon to do a Betty and a Veronica in the Archie style. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I can do
that's
that.
cool.
Because I'm like, all right, that's great. That'll be easier for me, because I'm thinking with his no way. Oh my,
right.
How much time is if I drew a blonde and a brunette in their style of clothing? It's hard. It's a real skill set to be able to illustrate in that style and make it alive and moving and tell a story with it.
Well, you can't hide behind anything either. You can't hide behind extra noodling or shadowing or the style is the style. You either have to nail it and capture the flavor of that character, their body posture, the way that they run. Those type of things really set it apart whenever you're trying to draw on model. Oh, look, Scooby-Doo, that's got to be easy to draw. It's not easy to draw. That's very hard.
Yeah, the cartoony style has always been kind of rough for a lot of guys to do.
Yeah, when you're trying to ape an established style.
Yes, exactly. But we have a friend that common friend with Billy, Larry Harrison, who had about 7 stores. And in all the stores that he's had and people around that we talk to, everybody's walking into the stores and the mothers are looking for their kids old Archie comics, back issues of Archie, because they don't want to, they're not really interested in the Riverdale stuff. So that was another reason that we kind of like this, because this is something they can buy their kids. They don't have to worry about it because it's all kid friendly. Nice. The writers wrote clever stories where they don't need to do anything, adult to make it, a fun adventure for them.
Yeah.
So it'll work with adults and it'll work with kids. The
and
stories
everybody
that we
in
have.
between.
Yeah.
And that's what we need right now in comics. Really, we need to, because the people buying comics are really not. They're not kids. They're really not. They're adults buying to collect and never take out a plastic, or they're buying to continue reading the series that they grew up reading. And really, the focus of comic creating is not geared towards children.
Right.
It's not, and it originally was. And that's what developed the fans we have. But, when you want to censor what your kids are watching, then you censor what they're reading. And, unfortunately, the Batman comics of today aren't what they were back then, right?
Right.
And it's good to get some of these books back in. It's needed. It needs to be circulated. There needs to be books that, they'll read these, they'll like them, and then as they get older and understand how life really works, then they can start graduating to the more mature books, And this way it's encompassing, all ages and everyone together. And that's what this industry needs, is a well-rounded, just, yeah, exactly.
The reason I did Monster Island originally back in 1998 was because DC would send me comps of every book that they published. My daughters are young, and I couldn't give them Batman, Superman, and all these characters that I grew up reading where, like, if I was homesick and Mom said, you need anything? I said, yeah, get me some comics. She could go to the spin rack at the 7-Eleven and just go Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. The only time she ever hesitated was when she got Conan, the black and white magazine. Okay, but I couldn't do that with my girls. So that's why I wrote Monster Island was to do an all ages story that could appeal to adults on different levels and on kids on a pure action level.
Yeah. Well, what's hard today too is the medium that young kids are getting their stuff, though. Everything is digital now. For kids, I mean, even look at television now. It's like every network's like, okay, you can have normal cable, or you can buy an app. You can get a subscription for every channel out there. So it kind of defeats the whole purpose of everying. But you get everything on one device: your books, your TV, your whatever. And you can literally have everything on one device. But that's the magic of comics. So it was holding the comic. It wasn't necessarily
selling the comic.
Holded the comic up. You stuffed it in your bag. you know, me, I like when my comics get damaged or wrinkled. You know, my stack of comics that I have all the comics I've ever owned, and they're not in good shape because I read them and I used them to study. You know, and that's how I learned my anatomy and drawing. You know, and unfortunately, you know, now I'll take like a digital, right? Maybe I'll get a digital book and get someone's style, and you know, it's just not the same as like having that paper there. You know, and you're just looking at the digital screen and swiping. You know, I don't know. It's just like there's a magic to holding an actual comic that I think would be great to get back into kids' hands than handing them an Amazon. Yes, it works.
Yeah,
you know, and and like with the newsprint, you know, my old comics with the newsprint. I mean, you open them now, and there's a smell that just
oh
god, I love that smell, man. Yankee Candle, if you're watching, get on that. I'll like that 24/7. The comic book page candle. But I mean, it's just, you know, I love what you guys are doing. I really do. And we'll support this in any way we can, help you, you know, get this to be a successfully funded book. And, you know, again, I hope, as much as I love my dark stories and, you know, my mature content and things, I mean, I still do love my old, you know, for me, you know, I have my old Ninja Turtle books, my Archie books, you know, I even got some old Caspers and things I still have that I'll pick up every now and then and just read, you know. And you know, I love this. I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Doing it. Comics need stories like this because that can only help expand the industry. Because the industry is just contracting with so much garbage out there now. It's nice to see something reflected like this. And both your story too, Graham, the horror story. You know what I mean? It's really cool. I mean, let's get some original content out there and start supporting our independent creators.
Yeah, but like, I mean, even like, but like with Graham's style, right? I mean, this is perfect. Like, it's so Graham, your work is just so eye-catching. It's appealing. You know, I love your style. I always have.
Thank you.
It's what drew me really to a lot of the Batman stuff when I was younger. Was your style, and I used a lot of your books. You know what you've worked on, and I copied a lot of stuff you did. But I mean, like your stuff, like it's a mature story, but like the way you draw and the way you develop your characters, you really do get immersed into the story and the imagery, which is cool. And, you know, I think with that ability, your stuff is a win. And, you know, like books like yours need to be out there because you can really escape in them.
Yeah.
You hit it on the head, Nile, because one of the three tenets that I hold as far as storytelling is clarity. You cannot be so fancy in your storytelling techniques that your reader doesn't know what's going on. You do that and you lose your reader. Okay. Yeah. Second, dynamics. You're in a flat medium. You have no sound or motion, so you have to push the drawing. You have to extend the action to bring that reader in. And then if you do the first two things right, you'll achieve the third, which is immersion. And that is when you read a story, you're so immersed in 20 minutes of your life goes by and you don't know what happened around you. Yeah. You know, you get done reading that thing and you're like, oh my God. You didn't stop to say, oh, look at this great panel, or look at all the detail in this, because the drawing, the clarity, and all of that forced you to immerse yourself into the story. And that, to me, is what really good storytelling is all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Love it. Love everything you guys are doing.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, you should expand the campaign. And then, of course, the good news is you also have, while you're putting it all together and everything, too, is that you've got the in-demand mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the thing is, if you can put it out, if you don't reach the $12,000 goal that you want, if you get close enough to it that you can afford to do it, to print it, I would print it. Because once you start printing it and delivering it, it's going to grow even more.
Right. Yeah, I definitely want to print it, you know. We've got the stories almost completely done, so we're not that far off from printing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah,
now, let me ask, you know, once this, I mean, do you guys have other projects in line? Like, okay, we're going to launch this. You know, if everything goes as planned, you get funded. Are you going to continue on with these characters in another book? Or do you have anything else in development that you're hoping to crowdfund?
two things that we were looking into. One of them was, well, we wanted to do a second book, and the writers are all chomping at the bit. The Kennedy brothers, everybody's like, let's get a second book done. So it's like, okay, calm down, everybody. Let's see how the first one does. And then we were thinking of another character that we would like to do. I don't know, should I say it?
Yeah.
Herbie, the Fat Fury.
Oh, cool.
Who?
Update.
Herbie.
Fat Fury Herbie.
Oh, that
Fat
guy.
Fury
Yeah. You remember that, with the toilet plunger on his...
Yeah, you know what's
Yeah.
funny? I actually showed, well, we're nearing the end of the show. Well, let's bring Blevins back in.
I'm back.
There he
I
is.
actually showed Blevins an image of that. I'm like, hey, have you ever seen this guy? And he's like, oh,
He
really?
did.
And this was literally like the other day.
Yeah, it was last week on Thursday actually after the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Herbie Popnecker.
God, like I mean, keeping that style, like, could you imagine like a crossover where like the Archies come to the future and they meet all the people?
That's what we're doing. That was one of the things that we were talking about.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because Herbie has those lollipops that can take him into the future.
Yeah.
That's
cool, man.
Dude,
That'd be cool. Guys, I hope you do that. If you do, you got to let us know.
Yeah,
So we can get you guys back on for that. That's awesome. But yeah, I just want to pop Dr. Blevins back in as we're approaching the end of the show here. And if you
I love those books from a simpler time. Like it was way simpler back then. You didn't have to worry about all the political correctness.
Exactly.
So you got to focus on just what the story is. And let me again just say, like, being somebody who went to school for mechanical drawing and drafting just because I wanted to do something in the art film, I definitely understand the whole lettering, the whole lettering scheme, and the fact that you still do it even now, hand lettering, is incredible, and it looks awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. This book, with all the craziness and the insanity that's going on in the world right now, this book is like a breath of fresh air.
No doubt.
Yeah.
It really is. There's no political stances. There's no hidden agenda. It's just pure. It's enjoyable to read for all ages.
And that
fantastic.
That 57 Chevy with the wheels turn. I mean, that's iconic.
We had the 57 Chevy and a 53 Cadillac. I think that's a Cadillac. 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have a Chevy too in the splash page, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's absolutely beautiful, guys. So
Yeah.
everyone out there that's watching, if you can, check out Jetta Raye Adventures. Back it if you love great comics. Just good old fashioned comics that are going to make you laugh, have a good time. Great for all ages. So check it out. Back it if you love it. If backing it's not something you can do right now, because we know some times are tough for some people, just share it. You may have one person, you may have 50 people that that will back this project. So help spread the word for Jetta Raye Adventures, and also help spread the word for Graham Nolan's the Chenoo. And let's continue this journey for these creators, and let's get the most they can so they can continue creating, because that's what this is about. Independent creators making independent comics for you backers to love and enjoy.
Independent mind.
Independent minds.
Tonight on Independent Minds, back independent books by independent creators.
Well done.
I haven't read the Chenoo, but I'm pretty sure he's just looking for love.
In all the wrong places.
Yeah.
All the wrong places. So thanks again, guys, for coming on tonight. Graham, as always, it's a pleasure. Jim, thanks for coming on. It's great talking to you, talking about lettering and everything like that. I mean, it's not too often. You guys are always welcome back on the show whenever you like. Please give Joe our best. Hopefully we can get that lunch with legends together once the pandemic thing is cleared.
Oh yeah.
And we'll take a little trip, hang out with you guys, maybe record a little chat session, and that'd be fantastic. And also, everyone, please join us tomorrow night as we will be welcoming Walter and Louise Simonson on to talk about their careers, honor what they've done for the comic industry, and all the great things they've done. So we'll see you all tomorrow night. Graham, again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So much fun. Blevins, always a pleasure. Mr. Tucci.
Definitely.
brother.
You
What a
team
great show.
sensation,
Great show.
and all of our wonderful people in the chat. TJ James, Mandy Summers, Peter Gilmore, Black Cat guy was throughout the house, Mr. Rock. So many people in the chat tonight. Just can't, I'm going through Caesar, Apex, Jimmy T was in, now he's on. And, we'll all see you guys tomorrow night at 9. Thank you again for watching. And please share these 2 campaigns. They're amazing. And you have to do it because I said so. Because I said so.
All right. Good night.
All right, everyone. Have a great night. And we will
Good night.
Everybody.
You guys, have a great one.
Thanks, guys.